Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my ranking of all 33 of the live-action Godzilla movies. Now I will list all of these movies from least favorite to most favorite in the description box below, and if you want my actual reviews of each of these films, you could check out my Godzilla movie review playlist, and I will put a link to that in the description box below as well. Now before we get to the list, there are a few things you need to understand. First of all, if I were to rewatch all of these films again in the future, the order of this ranking would probably change, at least a little bit. You know, a few titles might move up the list a bit, a few titles might move down a little bit, but I have seen all of these movies a minimum of 3 times at this point, so I'm pretty confident that this ranking is a reflection of how I feel about these movies. Second, I'm ranking these movies based on pure entertainment value, not filmmaking quality. So if a movie has a weak script, but is fun to watch, it's going to rank higher on this list, compared to a film that has maybe a better script, but has a lot of pacing issues. So that's how I'm doing this. And thirdly, no one on planet Earth is going to agree with my rankings. No one. I have a somewhat peculiar taste when it comes to these movies, so be prepared. You will be shaking your head in disbelief from start to finish. Now my pick, let's get started. Let's just roll here. My pick for the worst live-action Godzilla film of all time is not really that much of a surprise, and that is, in the 33rd spot, Godzilla's Revenge, also known as All Monsters Attack from 1969, one of the most hated of the entire franchise, and for good reason. You know, the use of excessive stock footage is only one of many reasons why this film scrapes the bottom of the barrel. Next, number 32, a controversial choice, Godzilla 2014. Yes, I'm being serious, and I don't care if it has some of the best production values of the entire franchise. This badly written, boring exercise of subverting expectations is the most infuriating Godzilla movie to actually sit through. Yes, and I stand by that. Number 31, Godzilla 1998. The Americans are coming strong at the bottom of the list here. There is some decent action in this film, but the absurd character count, excessive runtime, and overused rain effects really kind of tank this one, among a number of other issues. Those are the 3 worst Godzilla films, in my opinion. In terms of pure entertainment value, those are the 3 hardest to sit through. Our next 2 films might be passable if I'm in a good mood. Number 30, Son of Godzilla, 1967. The worst monster designs of the franchise, and that includes Godzilla, are somewhat offset by some fun, cheesy action that involves giant mantis and spider monsters. On a good day, it's alright. Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla, 1994. Of all of the Japanese Godzilla films, this entry is hurt the most by incompetent action design. The finale has its moments, and I suppose this would barely earn a pass grade again if I'm in a good mood, but it's a fairly tedious affair when compared to most films in this franchise. Now, our next 6 films have their flaws, but are pretty entertaining. Number 28, Godzilla King of the Monsters, 2019. So the way the monster fights are presented does limit its enjoyability, but the character conflicts drive the plot forward, and the pacing is better than expected for a 2+ hour film. Plus, that Rodan attack sequence is pretty awesome. 27, Godzilla vs. Megaguirus, 2000. The science fiction elements are some of the most idiotic of the entire franchise, but there is enough kaiju fighting goodness to be moderately entertaining. Number 26, Invasion of Astro-Monster, 1965. With some of the lowest Godzilla representation in an actual Godzilla film, this movie puts itself behind the 8 ball for most of the opening 70 minutes. But it does finish strong, and it leaves a good taste in your mouth. So, again, not bad, not bad. 25, King Kong vs. Godzilla, 1962. The monster suits are terrible, but the fights have a humorous quality to them that is somewhat charming. Also, the story in the Japanese version that's on the Criterion set flows better than in the American one. Number 24, Godzilla 2000 from 1999. This is the weakest of the Japanese reboot entries, and there is some dodgy CGI at times, but the action delivers, and the big finale includes one of the best finishing moves of any monster film that everyone conveniently forgot. Number 23, Godzilla Raids Again, 1955. The lack of emotion is a problem for this direct sequel to the original Gojira, but the pacing actually works, and the icy finale is actually pretty neat. That's a pretty neat finale. I'm a sucker for Godzilla in snow and ice. So, now the following 7 movies are legitimately entertaining, in my opinion. At the number 22 position is Terror of Mechagodzilla, 1975. Story is more serious and a bit dry, but the final 2-on-1 monster battle is a real keeper, and it finishes the Showa era strong. For sure. Number 21, Ghidorah, the Three-Headed Monster, 1964. A surprising number of cutaways from the action creates some frustration while watching this one. But the difference between this and Godzilla 2014 is that this film provides some of the most hilarious and outlandish monster scuffles of any kaiju film in existence. Number 20, Godzilla Final Wars 2004. The human conflicts run out of gas after a while, but there's so much action, the pacing is so fast, and there are so many monster kills that this entry easily accomplishes the level of fun action trash. Number 19, Godzilla vs. Megalon, 1973. Now, despite stock footage being used for the city destruction shots, we get one of the most fun tag team matches in kaiju history. Godzilla and Jet Jaguar versus Megalon and Gigan. Number 18, Godzilla vs. the Sea Monster, 1966. Yeah, it's that high on my list. Godzilla fights a giant lobster and a condor that looks like a mutant chicken. Sign me up. Number 17, Godzilla vs. Kong 2021. Some of the plot is pointless, not developed much at all. But these are by far the best kaiju fights of any non-Japanese Godzilla film. And it's not even close. Number 16, Godzilla against Megagodzilla 2002. Some of the fascinating plot turns are not fully explored, but this is the shortest installment of the Millennium Era, which assists the pacing. The action also delivers. So now we've reached the top 15. All of these are solid pieces of entertainment, with some very good and even excellent titles mixed in. Number 15, Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, 1974. We get multiple headline matches between these two, as well as a few interesting plot turns. King Caesar shows up later on to mix things up and elevate the entertainment value. Number 14, Destroy All Monsters, 1968. The villains are weak, very weak, but the plethora of monster appearances and healthy action quantity have made this a fan favorite for a reason. Number 13, Godzilla vs. Gigan, 1972. Oh yeah, this is in my top 15. And let me tell you why. The humans in this movie are actually fun and amusing characters, and the conclusion of the human conflict, which involves an elevator and a large picture, is one of the most memorable and entertaining non-action moments of the entire franchise. And by the way, the entire second half of this movie is basically one long monster battle. Number 12, Shin Godzilla, 2016. I can understand why some people do not like this one. I can. But I'll say this. I rarely enjoy board discussion meetings in these movies, but the ones in Shin Godzilla legitimately held my interest. Also, this is the most devastating atomic breath sequence of all time. Number 11, Godzilla vs. Destroyer, 1995. We get the earliest Godzilla rampage of the entire sequence during the opening credits, for goodness sakes. An aliens-inspired shootout between special forces and destroyer infants, and a sweet Godzilla design as he literally suffers from nuclear meltdown. Number 10, Gojira, 1954. The original does crack my top 10, and it still holds up today. Many fans have already pointed out the script writing positives, but the highlight of this film is the 15-minute rampage sequence. That's good stuff. Number 9, The Return of Godzilla, 1984, a film that seems to get better every time I rewatch it. I love the 80s aesthetic and how the story is updated to incorporate the geopolitical climate of the time. Number 8, Mothra vs. Godzilla, 1964. One of the more high-quality Godzilla films all around. This delivers on the story and the action front in spades. Number 7, Tokyo SOS, 2003. This is one of those entries that contributes so much quality monster action that it easily overpowers any potential story issues. Number 6, Godzilla vs. the Smog Monster, 1971. My boy Ghidorah has arrived. Sporting one of the best monster designs of all time, there's a ton of monster runtime in this one, screen time, and the film in general is very oddball, to the point of being unforgettable. Top 5, number 5, Godzilla vs. Mothra, Battle for Earth, 1992. Now, I'm not sure how many fans would rank this version above the original Mothra vs. Godzilla, but I really like the focus on Mothra here, as well as the upgraded monster designs and action set pieces. Number 4, Godzilla vs. Biollante, 1989. Like the Smog Monster, we have another very cool monster design in my top 10. The dark 80s aesthetic creates an intoxicating experience as well. One of my favorite Godzilla double features, or double headers, is The Return of Godzilla, and then Godzilla vs. Biollante in the same night. Turn off the lights and have the LED lights out. It's awesome. Number 3, Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, 1991. This movie is special because it has the most purely engaging story of any Godzilla film. Yeah, it's kind of stupid, but I am never bored while watching this film, even between the monster fights. And there's a ton of monster action to enjoy as well in this. Number 2, Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2 from 1993. Pound for pound, this has the most Godzilla action of any kaiju film ever made. You will never see this much Godzilla action in a Godzilla movie ever again. You know how they say never? I'm saying never. Never. And number 1, my single favorite Godzilla film of all time, is Giant Monster's All Out Attack, also known as GMK from 2001. The only movie that could possibly beat Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2 is a film that provides a ton of Godzilla action while also contributing an even better story. And that's exactly what we have with GMK. It's simply the best Godzilla film ever made, in my opinion. So there you have it. In a completely absurd ranking of all 33 Godzilla movies, my top 15 had 6 Heisei era films, 6 Showa era films, 2 Millennium era films, and Shin Godzilla. And a few years from now, when I rewatch all these films again, maybe I'll update these rankings if they change significantly. And be sure to check out all my reviews of these if you haven't seen them already. Just click the link in the description box below. So yes, this is that's a good thing about Godzilla. Everyone's list is going to be different, but I definitely have some controversial rankings on this list. So let me know your thoughts in the comments section. And as always, we will see you next time.